All right, so Rihanna was suing her father and his business partner, but she has just dropped the lawsuit against the both of them for misusing her name and using it for, of course, money for personal gain. And so the story from Radar Online and the court documents, it shows that Rihanna's company, Voyage Trade LLC and Combermere Entertainment Properties filed a stipulation of dismissal of the entire lawsuit on September 7th. And so the suit named Fenty Entertainment LLC, as well as her father and Moses Jockton Perkins. And the parties were ordered to show up on September 22nd to begin this trial, but she's dropped the lawsuit and they have all come to an agreement. We don't really know what that agreement involves, whether the agreement involved some money exchanging hands or if it was just like, look, let's just call it a day. You don't use my name anymore. Don't mislead the public anymore. Don't use my name for fraudulent reasons because I don't have anything to do with the things that you all have going on. In January 2019, she sued him and a business partner over allegations of deceiving people into believing that she was involved with his company. And in the complaint, Rihanna's father and his business partner were said to have lied as part of a fraudulent effort to solicit millions of dollars from unsuspecting third parties in exchange for the false promise that they were authorized to act on Rihanna's behalf and or that Rihanna would perform at various locations throughout the world. And they've also been accused of having tried to book her without her permission for a number of shows back in 2017 for millions. But right now Rihanna's a billionaire. She is the richest female musician right now. So suing them, it's kind of, it doesn't really make any sense anymore. Of course, she should not have people using her name, whether they are family, friend, or foe, without her permission. Of course not. But when it comes to this situation, and for anyone, honestly, it always costs money to litigate. It's easier and less costly and more efficient to settle matters out of court than it is to litigate them. It always is. No matter who you are, whether you have all of the money in the world and you have money to burn, in the end, the people that usually win are the attorneys. They're making the money whether you win or not. So for Rihanna, it really just made sense for her to drop this lawsuit. Now, a good old, really thorough, really effective cease and desist would have probably suited her in the situation where it involved her dad and his business partner and whatever companies that they are working with to prevent them from using her name anymore versus suing them, because she's already paid the money out for that. That's done. So going to court over the situation, it was just going to cost her more time, definitely more money, and more of a hassle and more of a headache, because having to go to court, that takes time out of your schedule from working on and doing things that you would rather be doing or other things that you need to be doing. I don't think anybody really wants to go to court except for attorneys who are going to be getting those billable hours. So it just really made more sense for her to drop this lawsuit. And again, we don't know the details of the settlement at this time. So we don't know if any money has exchanged hands, if they have agreed to settle, if like say, hey, you just pay out for this that we still had hanging over our head and we can call it a day, we'll call it square. Or she said, look, if you guys stop using my name, then you don't have to worry about paying my attorney's fees or anything like that, and we can just call it square. So again, we don't know the details of the stipulation of dismissal, but I'm glad, because it's hard when you have to take a family member to court. I don't think anybody really wants to do that, whether you're the richest person in the world or not. And it's usually vice versa. It's usually those who really don't have any money and don't have anything to lose that are suing those who have the money. So rarely do you see people like Rihanna suing someone that is, I hate to put it like this, but lesser than her. her dad doesn't have what she has. So for her to sue him, it really is not making as much sense as it would if you would see him suing her. Not saying he has a right to sue her for anything, but people usually take companies and corporations and people who actually have money to court because they have something more to lose, and that person who is suing has more to gain versus someone like Rihanna suing their dad, because she has more to lose and he would have more to gain if he were to win something, which I really wouldn't see him winning the situation. But if he were to have to, pay a judgment that the court awarded her, he's not going to have the money to do that. So she would never get the money and she would have a judgment that she couldn't collect on. So it's like, why even bother? And trust me when I tell you, I know of what I speak, because I've had to sue some people and I have judgments that I've never been able to collect on because they don't have a pot to piss in. So it's like, why even bother? But anyway, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. All right, the dog whisperer, Cesar Millan, who has made a dynasty, I would say, out of his dog training abilities, his expertise, his knowledge, and all of that. And he's just become sort of like the kingpin and guru in terms of dog trainers, has been sued. And the lawsuit is alleging that Cesar Millan's pit bull severely injured an aspiring gymnast and mauled one of Queen Latifah's dogs to death. Now, we didn't hear anything about Queen Latifah sharing any information about her dog, so this is coming out in this woman's lawsuit. A woman by the name of Lydia Mattis, she filed the lawsuit alleging that Cesar's dog not only has a history of extreme violence, but it allegedly attacked and killed Queen Latifah's dog, and then he tried to cover it up. According to TMZ, Lydia claims she went to an office building owned by Millan in Van Nuys, California in 2017. Lydia says she was visiting her mom, who worked for Cesar. She says she encountered Cesar's pit bull, Junior, who was roaming the halls unsupervised and off his leash. Lydia claims the dog attacked her, repeatedly biting her and seriously injuring her left calf. She went to the ER for treatment of severe dog bites. So in the lawsuit, it's saying Lydia, she was a star gymnast who was being actively recruited by the University of Pennsylvania. However, everything changed after she was attacked and she could no longer compete due to the extreme pain. And that's sad. Lydia's lawsuit claims Cesar knew Junior had a history of violence, yet regularly allowed the dog to roam free. She says the dog had bitten several people and mauled several dogs, including one dog owned by Queen Latifah. According to the lawsuit, Queen Latifah brought two of her dogs to Cesar's Dog Psychology Center in Santa Clarita, California. She says Junior mauled one of her dogs to death, and Lydia claims Cesar covered it up by telling his staff to tell Queen Latifah the dog was hit and killed by a car. The 52-year-old celebrity dog trainer filed an answer to the lawsuit, claiming Lydia assumed the risk of being bitten because she knew of the danger. He also claims Lydia herself was negligent, although he doesn't say how. Lydia says the bite left her impaired, wounded, disfigured, and she continues to suffer physical and emotional pain. She's suing for unspecified damages. So this lawsuit is definitely ongoing. Now, this is crazy. For him to say she assumed the risk because she knew, like, what the heck does that mean? Just because someone has, for example, a sign up that says beware of dog. Now, if you have a place for someone to enter and you just have a vicious dog roaming free, does that dissolve you from any type of negligence in the situation, or assuming any of the damages that may happen if your dog decides to attack someone? I don't think it really works that way. So I don't know what he means by she assumed the risk because she knew. Like, what? That's crazy to me. And the fact that she is revealing that one of Queen Latifah's animals, one of her dogs, was mauled to death, and he covered it up by telling his staff to tell her that the dog was hit by a car. That, I don't know. I don't know if they do autopsies on animals. I'm assuming they could. I don't know if that is actually something that really even happened. So again, this is alleged. This is what she is alleging in this lawsuit that she filed. But if that indeed happened, did Queen Latifah get to question that? Did she get the dog's remains? Like, do they have a crematory on his premises and they went ahead and just, cremated the dog and gave her urn back? Or did she get the dog's remains and get to handle it herself? If, again, this even happened, this is all being alleged in her lawsuit, but this is crazy. I would really love to know what you guys think about this in the comments. But Cesar Millan, again, he is one of the people that is, when you think of dog trainers, you think of Cesar Millan. Like, you look up dog trainer in the dictionary right now, it'd probably be a picture of this dude. And he's got this new show now on the National Geographic channel called Cesar Millan, Better Human, Better Dog. So it's almost like, a crazy situation for this to be coming out now. And he's got this show, which he's always pretty much made it as, if you as the owner, as the human, if you are doing what you are supposed to do, then it is going to help calm the dog. It is going to help you to be able to train the dog. It's going to help the dog to be able to listen to you. But if you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing as the human, or kind of like as the adult, then the dog is not going to be able to follow your commands. So this is crazy to hear this situation. And she's saying that one of his own dogs mauled other dogs to death and attacked her. So we'll see what comes of this. But again, you guys let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. The singer Jaheim, he has definitely fallen off, and it's pretty sad because I really liked his music, but he recently became one of the celebrities that pretty much came out of the filthy closet, shall we say, who was admitting to not bathing on a regular basis. I really don't know what that's about. I didn't talk about that, but to hear this story, it just kind of all comes together. But it's recently been reported that he has been taken into custody because he had so many dogs that were in his home that were being starved, and some were, just like out of it. And one of the dogs actually had to be put down, unfortunately. So according to People, more than a dozen dogs were found living in deplorable conditions at his property in New Jersey. And officials from the Somerset County Prosecutor's offices confirmed the 43-year-old, his full name is Jaheim Hoagland, was charged with animal neglect. So in a Facebook post, officials stated Jaheim was booked for third-degree animal cruelty and failure to provide necessary care to an animal on Monday. And so his arrest came after officials from the Hillsborough Township Police Department responded to a call about a puppy in distress and found a total of 6 dogs in separate animal crates in the driveway of a Chamberlain Drive residence. The report also stated that a pit bull terrier mix was initially unresponsive in a water-filled crate and subsequently had to be euthanized. And so inside, additional dogs were found in separate crates, partially filled with several inches of water and dog feces. A total of 14 animals were released to Long Hill Kennel in Hillsborough, New Jersey. And so a court hearing is upcoming and pending. Now, this is just so sad, and they don't play games when it comes to these animals. Sometimes when it comes to how you treat animals, the treatment that the punishment that you would get is sometimes worse than if you were to mistreat a human being. They don't play when it comes to these dogs. And so I don't really know what the deal is, why he had 14 dogs. And it says 14 animals, so again, I'm assuming they are all dogs. They didn't say anything about any cats or ferrets or hamsters or gerbils or rabbits or anything like that. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just saying I'm assuming that they're all dogs because they just talked about a call about the puppy in distress and how they found animals in crates in the driveway. So it's like, what kind of house is this? Why do you have the dogs in crates in the driveway? They're not even in the house or in a covered area. I don't know. That's really horrible. I can't imagine what the place looked like. I definitely don't want to imagine what the place smelled like. And adding to the fact that he doesn't even bathe himself every day, we already know that the dogs were not getting groomed. The dogs were not getting bathed. They probably had really long nails and probably matted fur and all kinds of stuff. There's other things involved when it comes to these animals that are being neglected. It's not just they weren't feeding them and the dogs are emaciated. Sometimes, depending on the type of dog, the type of fur that they have, sometimes it's matted fur. They could have mites and ticks and fleas and all kinds of stuff. So it's deplorable and it's sad. You never want to see anyone in distress, but you definitely, if you're going to be someone having an animal, you need to be taking care of yourself, and then you have a pet that you can take care of. And 14 animals, that is not a pet. That is not someone that is just having a pet or animal that they want to have for companionship. It sounds like you're running a kennel in some sense. So I don't know if he was breeding animals, trying to sell them, but I don't know if that's something that he tried to do and it just didn't work out, and then he got stuck with all of these dogs because maybe some of the dogs got together and then one of the female dogs had puppies and he kept the puppies. I don't know, but this is just a crazy situation because, again, I really liked his music back in the day. I really liked his music, and to just see where he is right now, it sounds like there might be some drugs in play in this situation, but that has not been proven. So I will not even say allegedly. I'm just assuming that there is, and we shall see. We'll see what else comes of this, but you guys let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section.